Hey y'all, happy Monday. Welcome to another week of Daily Devos. We are moving along in the study of Psalm 1. And I have to say, which I said last week, and I'm going to say again this week, it's not by any accident that we are where we are in this study for such a time as this. And that's what is so encouraging, that the Lord knows what's before us, and that there is word to carry us, to encourage us, to strengthen us through the journey. And that's just it's just beautiful, and it's just God. It is just who He is. So last week we finished our study and tie-in of Psalm 1:3, and I don't even know how many weeks, to be honest, we spent on that psalm, but there's just so much to pick out. And so this week we are moving into Psalm 1 verse 4. And I have to tell you, it's going to come out particularly towards the end of this week. But I was writing this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday maybe. Anyway, I was writing specifically about being unshakable and why we can be unshakable, about our foundation. And lo and behold, so I did that and studied in it this week, and then I began preparations for our Daily Devos this week, and that's where we're going to end up at the end of this week. So I just love that. And I heard it from another voice, another minister I was listening to. He was talking about being unshakable, and so now the Holy Spirit has spoken that to me 3 times in the past week. So I should really be listening to that. But I'm thankful that He does speak to us in confirming words, and that He gets our attention. Do you know what I'm saying? So here we are, Psalm 1, verse 4. And let's just read that together, and then we'll kind of start digging in. And it says, "Not so the wicked. Those disobedient and living without God are not so, but they are like the chaff, worthless, dead, without substance, which the wind drives away." It sounds kind of harsh, but that's in our own natural self that we feel like it sounds kind of harsh. But in reality, the decision has already been made. We make our own decisions, and we are responsible for the consequences and the outcomes that those decisions bring. And so, tying back into, we just finished Psalm 1:3, and he shall be like a tree firmly planted and tended by the streams of water, ready to bring forth its fruit in its season. Its leaf shall not fade or wither, and everything he does shall prosper and come to maturity. Verse 4, not so the wicked. Not so. So everything that we have been looking at for the past few weeks, everything that we have studied concerning the blessed one who is like a tree firmly planted, none of that applies to the wicked. The King James actually calls them the ungodly. Well, that makes sense, because they are disobedient, not following His precepts, teachings, and instructions, and they are living without God. So it is the ungodly. So it has to be very clearly understood that Psalm 1 is talking about 2 distinct groups of people. Those who choose God and those who choose to reject God. And that is something that we must recognize, that every person is given a choice. We can choose to accept Jesus Christ, the Messiah. We can choose to accept God and His way of doing things, or we can reject Him. And John talks about that, and this came out a little bit in our last Women in the Word. John 1 verse 12, and it says, "But to as many as did receive and welcome Him, He gave the authority, power, privilege, right to become the children of God. That is, to those who believe in, adhere to, and trust in, and rely on his name, who owe their birth neither to bloods, nor to the will of the flesh, nor to that will of a man, but to God. They are born of God. To as many as will receive and welcome him, he has given the privilege to become children of God. And we'll pick up here again tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.